You know, each week this team finds the new way to amaze me. And not in a good way, all right? This Philadelphia Eagles team finds new ways to lose games in the worst ways each and every time. This is the new worst loss of the Philadelphia Eagles season, okay? What a pathetic performance by the Philadelphia Eagles football team today as they came out against the New York Giants in the last game of the season, in the penultimate game of the Eagles season, okay? And I say penultimate because this will be the second to last game of this Philadelphia Eagles season. Understand that. Make no mistake about it. The Philadelphia Eagles football season will be over come next week when they play the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This Philadelphia Eagles football team is not prepared to go into the playoffs at all whatsoever. Okay, what's going on, YouTube? This your boy TK the Official. Welcome back to another episode of TK Sports Talk, where we talk about the NFL and, more importantly, we talk about the Philadelphia Eagles. Man, listen, the Philadelphia Eagles just lost 27-10 to the New York Football Giants, okay? And the game was not even as close as that score even makes it, and that score doesn't even make it sound close at all whatsoever. This was an absolutely anemic performance from the Philadelphia Eagles. This was a pathetic performance from the Philadelphia Eagles, for the Philadelphia Eagles football team. Nick Sirianni did not have his team prepared to come out here and to compete in the last game of the season, to come out here and to look and to make a playoff audition, so to speak. All right, to come out here and sharpen the tools, okay, and get themselves prepared and get themselves mentally ready and physically ready to take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers or whatever team it was that they were going to face coming into the playoffs. This team had a chance, a slim chance, I mind you, okay? This team had a very slim chance. It was a very slim possibility that the Washington Commanders were going to beat the Dallas Cowboys today and allow for the Philadelphia Eagles to overtake them and get the number 2 seed and win the division this year and end the 18-year streak that no one in the NFC East has repeated as division championships, champion since the Philadelphia Eagles back in 2003, 2004. Excuse me. But this Philadelphia Eagles team did not care about none of that. This Philadelphia Eagles football team was ready to not play. I think the starters, you know, part of the thing. And now this may be an excuse. You may see it, but I'm just trying to understand how anemic, how lifeless this Philadelphia Eagles team could be coming into a game like this, okay? Because now you're going to be scoreboard watching, all right? A lot of the players, a lot of the starters probably feel like the game doesn't matter. Dallas is going to win their game against Washington. At worst, the Eagles can end up in the 5th seed. They couldn't end up with any lower seed. They couldn't move up any higher, especially if Dallas took care of business against Washington. So a lot of that plays into the psyche. A lot of that plays into the mindset. And you know, that even might have played into the psyche of the head coach. Because I cannot understand for the life of me how this team could come out on offense and on defense and look so bad, even on special teams. What was Brenton Covey doing, letting that punt bounce and them getting it down inside the 10-yard line? The daggone punt was going to bounce outside in front of the 10, so you should have caught it right then and there. Okay? But that's just I don't want to get into that part of it, okay? All right. Jalenhurts today was just go 7 for 16, 55 yards, winded up dislocating his finger. Okay. AJ Brown today. All right. Let me see. What was AJ Brown? Do we have any numbers on AJ Brown? Did AJ Brown register a catch today? Let me see. AJ Brown, 1 catch for 9 yards. He would have had 2 catches, or maybe he did have 2 catches. Maybe he did have no. AJ Brown did have 1 catch. Yes, it was 1 catch for 9 yards and a fumble. Okay, because there was a fumble, a catch fumble, in which on that play, AJ Brown got hurt. Now, listen, I hope that AJ Brown is okay, because God knows we need AJ Brown. We need Devontae Smith. We need DeAndre Swift. We need all of our star players to be healthy if we're going to have any chance of doing anything in the playoffs. And we don't really have too much of a chance the way this football team is playing right now. I mean, let's just be honest. This Philadelphia Eagles team went from a bona fide contender, no doubt about it, going to defend this NFC championship crown. Okay, this year, going to compete against Dallas, going to compete against the San Francisco to get into the Super Bowl to try to go ahead and win another one. Now we're looking at a football team that very well may lose to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers next week in the playoffs. That we're talking about an Eagles football team that deserves to lose next week against the Bucs in the playoffs. The team is just inept, okay, defensively. I mean, Bradbury still getting burnt by players out there. Who was that? Waller? Okay. Defensively, still taking the wrong angles to tackles. Still getting the wrong drops in our still not getting the right depth in our drops as linebackers and as cornerbacks. All right, still not reading the right keys as safeties. Just still not understanding what our run fits are on the defensive side of the ball. I mean, the Giants came out very aggressively. The Giants came out to pass the ball. Tyrod Taylor, if I didn't mention his numbers already, he was 23 of 32 for 297 yards today in a touchdown and an interception. Tyrod Taylor, this Philadelphia Eagles football team allowed Tyrod Taylor to throw for damn near 300 yards on them today. That's how far this Eagles football team has fallen from grace. And so what part of you as a fan or as an NFL prognosticator, as an NFL observer, as a football lover, what part of you gives the Philadelphia Eagles any chance to win against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers next week? Y'all comment down below. Let me know. All right. I'll give the Philadelphia Eagles a 10% chance to go into the Tampa Bay Buccaneers next week and win the game. All right. And that's being realistic and that's being generous. 10% chance. You're down 24-0 at halftime to the New York Giants, and you want me to think that in the very next week, you're going to sharpen it up, you're going to pick it up, you're going to flip a switch and get ready and to go down and play a team like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers that's playing, at least they playing with some pride. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers could have lost that game. They could have found a way to lose the game today. Maybe they would have lost if they was playing anybody else besides the Carolina Panthers, but guess what? They won. Yeah, albeit they won by 3 field goals. They won 9-0, but they won the game. They found the way to get they together. Baker Mayfield looked like he was dealing with some injury issues. Not quite sure what was going on, but it's a divisional game. Somehow, some way, they were strapping down there. But they pulled it out. And now I expect this Eagles football team to go down into Tampa Bay to get on the plane and fly down there and go into a hostile environment. I've been in that stadium. Go down into a hostile environment and I expect for Jalenhurts to come out there and play his very best game. No, I don't. All right. Nick, I'm giving Nick Sirianni a lot of heat right now, but I'm going to give Nick Sirianni a pass in this one thing right here. Okay. If you're Nick Sirianni, if you're Brian Johnson, who do you trust on this offense? Okay, I mentioned A.J. Brown had 1 catch for 9 yards and a fumble before he got a knee injury. And I'm not sure what the severity of that knee injury is. It looked like he was able to walk off, get himself to the locker room under his own power. So, I'm not quite sure. There really was no need for him to go back into that game. We all know about the surface that they play on at MetLife. And so there's no need for him to go back in their game and risk any further injury. Okay. But again, another fumble for A.J. Brown. Okay. Your best player, if you're Nick Sirianni, Jalenhurts. All right. He throws the ball. He's throwing interceptions. He run the ball. He's fumbling it. Who you? Devontae Smith. He's had a couple drops this year. Devontae Smith. He's had a couple fumbles this year. Dallas Goedert. He's had a couple fumbles this year. Who do you get the ball to? Who do you trust? So while it was nice to see Quez Watkins today have 8 catches for 93 yards and a touchdown, he had a nice touchdown. It went up high, pointing the ball, elevated over 2 defenders and came down with the football. All right. Quez Watkins is the guy that got some speed out there, and that was probably the only positive thing that I can glean from this whole entire game. Kenneth Gainwell looked pretty decent today. He had 7 carries for 62 yards. I thought he showed some nice quickness through the holes. All right, I like that. Now, hopefully that's something that, we can find, we can keep working on, we can keep continuing on. All right, now the Philadelphia Eagles today, we didn't have DeAndre Swift. We didn't have Darius Slay. Okay, who else didn't? We didn't have Devontae Smith. I do understand that there were some different things going on, but this team just did not look like they had it. I watch other teams and I watch them with their players, star players out, and I watch them with some of these no-name guys that they have. And I see coordination, I see plays, I see timing, I see rhythm, I see a reason to why they're running the routes, the reason to why they're blocking this way. I see it coming together. And for this Eagles football team, I just don't see the creativity on this team. I see just plain mundane, boring offense, and I see a defense that these players can't execute. I'm not sure if it's too difficult or whatever the case is, but for whatever's going on, these players are having issues executing this defense. Now, I know we got a lot of young players on defense. All right. And maybe that's a part of just the growing pains that we got to take right now. But listen, you switch coordinators. All right. At 3/4 of the way into the season. And this is what we have. All right. We got a second new defensive coordinator, and we got a new offensive coordinator. And we got a head coach that won't take over and take the responsibility of making sure that he get this shit back on track with the play calling and everything like that. All right. It's just a poor performance, man. Marcus Mariota was able to come in second half or second quarter, parts of the second quarter on. And Marcus Mariota played pretty decent today. It wasn't too bad. He was 13 to 20 for 120 yards. 148 yards for a touchdown. He did have an interception. All right. But I didn't think Marcus Mariota came in and played too bad. I mean, how much he came in and played as good as I would expect a backup quarterback to come in. I was interested though to see how the offense was going to run. I was just curious. AJ Brown said him and Jalen just be doing their own thing. So I was curious as to now whether Marcus Mariota, whether we were going to see how the offense should be ran. We know Marcus Mariota's not going to ad-lib, and I thought the offense. I thought they found their way for the players that they had in there. It looked like the Giants were still playing some of their starters as we got into some of our backups and things like that. But going into next week, we're dealing with a couple of injuries. All right, we're dealing with AJ Brown. We don't know how significant that is. All right, Cam Jurgens was dealing with a little bit of an injury. Don't know how significant that is. Reed Blankenship is dealing with an injury. Don't know how significant that is. Jalen Hurts has got his thing with his finger. All right. So, he's able to throw the ball. I'm sure he'll be just fine, but how much that has affected him when he's throwing the football, I mean, we don't know how much of a factor that is, but we do know that Jalen Hurts has been, having some issues with turnovers this year, and we just don't need anything extra that's going to aid in that, man. You know what I'm saying? And it doesn't make me feel more confident, that he's having the ailment on his throwing hand, at the particular moment. This Eagles secondary, if I haven't already discussed it, man, it's a joke. I'm just going down some of these notes that I wrote down right now, man. And I wrote down right here, the Eagles secondary is a joke. All right. Like, absolutely. Bradbury was burned by, Darren Waller again. I mean, and this is a guy or Bradbury where you say, okay, if they come out in this type of formation, then we're going to kick Bradbury down to the inside and we're going to have him cover tight ends like Darren Waller, because we figure that, Bradbury is not a fast twitch guy, doesn't have the top tier speed of some of these wide receivers that's on the outside, so we can get him on a slot guy, we can get him on a tight end even better. All right, but that's just still not the case. I mean, just poor technique, just allowing yourself to get out of position, allowing yourself to get into a recovery position where you're chasing after the wide receiver. You can't see the ball. You can't even turn around and make a play on the ball because you're trying to catch up. All right, and I just don't understand what's going on, and I'm thinking that Bradbury may just be more of a liability to have him on the football field, and we may very well just have to figure out a plan without him. I mean, Bradbury's not going to be here next year, so you need to kind of figure out what your team is going to look like. You don't have anything to lose at this particular point in time going into the playoffs. I mean, that's just where the Philadelphia Eagles are right now. Okay, there were times in this game where I was wondering why the starters were even still in this game. Come before the game, I wondered if the Eagles should even play the game. I mean, again, it was a very slim chance that the Washington Commanders were going to overtake the Dallas Cowboys and win a game in which the Dallas Cowboys needed. Okay, this is the best seed, that the best position that the Dallas Cowboys have been in quite some time, to have the number 2 seed, to have 2 home games at home, provided that they win next week. They'll have another chance at another home game. They had everything to come out there and play for. All right, so, but for whatever reason, Nick Sirianni played some of his starters, and we came out and we looked like crap. All right. Well, I don't know what the message was this week. The Philadelphia Eagles, they do a great job. The PR staff, marketing staff, and everybody, they put out all these videos and everything about believing and trusting in each other and all this other kind of stuff. You hear players, AJ Brown, the rest of the guys talking about how they're going to come out here this week and have a solid week, solid game plan, and how they're going to get back to their winning ways, and we're going to show you. And you come out and you play flat, man. You come out and you have an F game. All right, if anyone watches First Things First with Nick Wright and Chris Broussard, that was an F game. This is what you did. All right. I'm not angry. I'm not upset. I'm just reacting right now because I don't know where else to go with this Philadelphia Eagles football team. I'm done with the coaching staff right now at this particular point in time. I'm done with Brian Johnson. I'm done with Matt Patricia. I'm done with John Desai. I'm done with Nick Sirianni at this particular point in time. Until Nick Sirianni does something, do something to make something different, make something change. Because, yeah, we beat the New York Giants, but we very well could have gone 0 of our last 6 games. Okay? Like, seriously. Like, let's just think about that. How would we be feeling if we didn't even win our last game? Would we be in the 6th seed, 7th seed? Would we be fighting for a playoff spot? I mean, you know what I'm saying? The Philadelphia Eagles today lose 27-10 to the New York Giants. They get ready to play the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, where we'll go over the matchups. We'll go over keys to victory. We will go over just what's going on with this Philadelphia Eagles football team, and do they really have a realistic chance of getting things together and turning this ship around heading into Tampa Bay? Because they need to. It's been your boy TK the Official, man. I'm out.